Hey everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect up Zapier so that you can use Jotform and the HubSpot prefill functionality and automatically send out emails with these unique URLs, these unique links in the email. So if you see my last video, you will have seen how to set up the HubSpot prefill. And this basically means that when a contact gets this URL, this unique URL here, it'll automatically have the details added in for them into the form. So you can send this unique URL when you're emailing the contact, you copy this address and you can just send that to the customer. Here we can see this example with Brian's details here. And so then they don't have to, fill in all the details. But the challenge with this is that you kind of have to manage it a little bit manually and go through it, like click this URL to share it. Or you can use the Jotform email send functionality, but it's still a little bit basic. And you might want to send this out through HubSpot instead. So we're going to try and use Zapier to connect this up. So we have this example that we've got here, and I'm going to set up and fill out a form here. First, I'm going to remove this payment part, get a submit button here. Okay. And then let's go to publish. Okay. And then we go to prefill. HubSpot prefill. We're going to open up this one. Cool. So it's all pre-filled already. And I'm going to just add the date and then click submit. So now we have an example. Now let's go into Zapier and we're going to set up, this is the Zap we set up the other day in the other video. And this, what we're looking at here is one of the Zap runs. So if I go back, we're not going to use this particular Zap, but I'm going to create a new Zap like this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say when a contact is added to a list in HubSpot, then use Jotform to generate a prefill link and add that data back to HubSpot contact property. So this is how we're going to do it. Let's see if it can work that out. Cool. So Copilot here, Zapier's Copilot has helped us. We've got this new contact in a list in HubSpot, create submission in Jotform, update contact in HubSpot. Okay, this is pretty close, but we're going to change this a little bit, but I'll add them all here. And before I add this in, I'm going to add in a custom property in HubSpot so that we can save this data. And I'm going to call it, we're going to just put it under contact information for now. I'm going to say Jotform link, custom link. Cool. Okay, going back to our Zapier automation, and we'll also add a new list here as well. So let's say list. We're going to call this event invitation list. Okay, so we're saying when a new contact's added to this event invitation, select our list. This is my demo account list, but actually I want to add this new social mostly HubSpot account here. So let's do that. I'm going to connect that up like this, select social mostly, agree to this, connect app, continue. Cool. Now we should be able to see our contact list. Yep, a new list. And yeah, as you would know from other videos that I've gone through, the properties that get retrieved, the Zap automatically retrieves certain HubSpot properties. And you'll see first name, last name, email, all these important ones. But if there's some other custom ones that you also want to retrieve, we can also do that here. So for example, if we wanted to retrieve that custom list property we just created, custom URL, custom link, I think it was called. Got that here, Jotform custom link, so we could retrieve that if we needed to. And then we can test a trigger for the new contacts. Okay, and we're unable to pull any contacts, and that is because we don't have contact in the list. And let's go down to list memberships. We can add this contact in like this. And we've already got one list, so that should be easy. Click add. Let's go back to our trigger step. Great. So we get our contact, we get our details. We also pull that Jotform info, I think somewhere there it is. Yep. Click continue. Okay, so now this is the important step. The action step we want here is not to create a submission. This is not correct. Instead, we want it to assign a pre-filled form. Let's try that. Click continue, continue. So we've got our form. This is our event form we just were working on in the last video. And then we have our assignee email, this one here that we've just had come in. And we can have our invitation message. we've got our pre-filled permissions, editable. Yes, we want it to be editable. And we can add in the details for the pre-filling. So we've got it like this. First name, last name. So we can see here, we don't even need to use the pre-fill integration that we worked on in the last video. We can just do it directly in HubSpot like so. Oops, get rid of that. Company name. Phone. Continue. So we've got all our details here. Let's test this step. I'm going to put in my email here instead, just to test it. Actually, we'll put in social mostly. And then let's test that. You can check that email out once it's sent. If it sends. I don't even know if this sends it. Okay, and we've got our little URL here, which is great. We can use this. Don't think the email sent. Maybe it did. Let's have a look. This is the old emails confirmations that went out in the last video. So let's see if there's any email sent. It doesn't look like it. So this is just in Zapier, just pre-filling the form and the message, invitation message. Not sure where that goes. I have to do a bit more research about that. So we can, but it looks like this doesn't send an email out. It just pre-fills. So we end up with this URL. Let's test out this URL. Awesome. It looks like it adds in all the details. That's great. So now we can use this URL and we can put it in any other step. And we're going to put it in HubSpot, but you could, for example, put it straight into a Google email. You know, if you wanted to, you could have a Gmail email, and we could set it up like this. We could create a draft, and then you could, let me connect up my Gmail here. And we have our subject line, event invite to, and then we've got our email address, etc., etc. And then in the body, you would then have, you know, this is HTML. This should be HTML. So we could have, you know, dear, and then first name, and then comma, BR. We have sign up for our event, you know, for example, and then we've got our Ahref link, and we can put that like this, and then we just make sure we drop in our URL like this. That could be another option as well. Let me share an example of this one for you. Let's try this out. So put it in our drafts here. Here we go. Oh, it's plain text. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Swap this over to HTML. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, this looks a bit better. There we go. We've got our link. Let's check this link out. That's awesome. That's like magic. Okay, so then let's go back and we'll do the last step here. So this is the example. I just wanted to show you quickly Gmail. But let's remove this one. Instead, we're going to add it into HubSpot as a property, and then we can use it in the marketing emails. So if we find our property, let's type in Jotform here, custom link. We drop our custom link in here like this. And then we save this. Oh, we got we add our object ID first. So that's going to be our first record here. This is the contact record, like so. And we're talking about contacts here. We're updating contacts, so that looks fine. Now let's go back down the bottom. Continue. Test step. Great. It looks like that's worked. And then of course we need to publish this for it to start working. And then if we go back into Maribeth, if we set up an email, let's say, and we're going to send an email out, let's say we have like an event email that we're going to send out. So we have this event email, event invitation. And we've got our our URL here. Let's say we don't use a button like this, but instead we just use some text. So we can delete that for a second. We say, join us for our upcoming event, blah, blah, blah. And then we make this a link. And this is going to be this X. Let's just call x.com for now. And then that x.com link is going to actually be replaced with the personalization token, which is that property that we just set up. So if we go into more and then source code, find our X, and then here we're going to drop in the personalization token. So let's just throw in the personalization token here for a minute. Like this, we go contact for the token, and we're going to type in Jotform and find our little Jotform custom link. Just put that for now. And we've got our little code here. So now go back to the source code, and we can see this is our HubSpot personalization token code. And we can copy that and then put this in here. This. I'm going to replace the X with a hash. Okay, we'll just remove this text here. Save changes. Oops. Now we can see this link. Now, if I do a test, if I do a preview like this, you can see our link here in the preview. But if I click that link, it doesn't go anywhere. See, it has a 404 error because it's only going to this URL, which just has the hash. So let's try and test it though. We're going to add a contact here like Maribeth as the preview, person who we're previewing. And then the URL should now have that data that we put in. Yep. And now we have the details here. So let's do a full run through and let's test this out. So we've got this is working now. And so this triggers with a new contact in that list. So let's say we've got a contact. Let's go back to HubSpot. We'll add a new contact into HubSpot. I'll leave this open for a sec. Let's go into contacts. Actually, let's go back into Jotform and we can fill in that first contact us form, which will also generate a new contact in HubSpot. So let's say, there we go. And let's view the submissions. Great. So we've got Jimbo, Michelle here, and all the details have come through. And then let's go into HubSpot. And we can see the new contact is synced through thanks to that HubSpot integration that we set up in the last video. And so now I have this. Now, in order to trigger the Zap we just set up, a new contact has to be added to a specific list. So then if I add Jimbo to my list like this, add to static list, invitation list, add, then it should automatically enroll him in this Zap and we'll get the details come through. So let's have a look at Jimbo's contact and then let's have a look in the all properties and we can check out that Jotform link. Here we go. So the Jotform data has been automatically put in here. That's come straight through this Zap. Let's have a look. Here it is. And so we can see here, let's close this for a sec. We can see here that it's come through like this, new contact, assign pre-filled form, and then update the contact like this. We can see his details. That's great. So then if we're preparing our email and we wanted to send this email out to him, we could have an automation set up in HubSpot, which every time there's a new contact added to that list, they automatically get sent this invitation email. And then, so if we preview this, we can try it with this Jimbo person. Let me refresh this page. Okay, and now Jimbo, we've got Jimbo here. We can see his link, which has that unique URL, and we've got his details coming straight through. So this is a cool way to set up Jotform and HubSpot along with Zapier so that the pre-fill information can go into your forms and the contacts can much more easily fill them out when they've already got details in it. But it also allows you to automate it a bit more so you don't have to always be setting it up one by one per contact as well. So if this has been useful for you, please let me know. I'd love to hear your comments and questions and give me some feedback so I can make similar videos in the future. If you'd like to see more videos about HubSpot and Zapier and Jotform and any other sort of digital software and technology that can help sales and marketing operations and processes, please feel free to subscribe, like the video if this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay, thank you so much. All the best. Cheers.